Most people believe that intelligence naturally leads to one simple decision: cut toxic people out of your life. You've probably heard the advice countless times. If someone is toxic, remove them. If someone hurts you, walk away. If someone drains your energy, cut them off. At first glance, it sounds logical. After all, intelligent people are supposed to make rational decisions that protect their well-being. So why do some of the smartest people you know continue maintaining relationships with difficult, manipulative, selfish, or emotionally exhausting individuals? Why do highly intelligent people sometimes stay connected to toxic friends, family members, co-workers, or even romantic partners long after everyone else thinks they should leave? The answer is far more complicated than most people realize. And surprisingly, psychology suggests that intelligence itself may sometimes be one of the reasons. Because intelligent people often see things that others don't. They notice complexities where others see simple answers. And sometimes that becomes both a strength and a weakness. One reason intelligent people don't immediately cut toxic people off is because they understand context. Most people judge behavior. Intelligent people often analyze causes. When someone behaves badly, many people instantly label them as toxic. But highly analytical minds often ask different questions. What happened to this person? What experiences shaped them? What pain are they carrying? What insecurities are driving their behavior? Instead of seeing a villain, they see a complicated human being. This ability to understand multiple perspectives is often associated with higher cognitive empathy. They don't excuse harmful behavior, but they understand where it comes from. And that understanding can make it difficult to completely walk away. Because once you understand someone's wounds, cutting them off can feel less like escaping an enemy and more like abandoning a struggling person. Another reason is optimism. Highly intelligent people often believe problems can be solved. They spend their lives solving puzzles, overcoming challenges, and finding solutions. This mindset doesn't magically disappear when relationships become difficult. Instead of asking, "Should I leave?" they often ask, "Can this be fixed?" They believe that communication might work. Maybe boundaries will help. Maybe time will change things. Maybe understanding will improve the relationship. Maybe the other person simply needs support. This problem-solving mentality can be incredibly useful in life, but in relationships, it sometimes becomes a trap. Because not every problem wants to be solved, and not every person wants to change. Psychologists often observe that intelligent people can become trapped by their own ability to see potential. They become attached to who someone could be rather than who that person consistently is. And those are two very different things. Another surprising reason involves emotional complexity. Intelligent people tend to think deeply, very deeply. They rarely see situations as black and white. Most people divide relationships into simple categories: good people, bad people, healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships. But highly intelligent individuals often see endless shades of gray. They recognize that someone can be loving and manipulative, generous and selfish, supportive and destructive, kind and cruel, all at the same time. This complexity makes decisions harder, because cutting someone off feels simple only when the person is entirely harmful. But what happens when they are wonderful 70% of the time and damaging 30% of the time? What happens when they have been there for your biggest victories but also caused your deepest pain? The human mind struggles with contradictions, and intelligent people often see more contradictions than anyone else. There is also a lesser-known psychological factor called emotional investment. The longer people know someone, the harder it becomes to walk away. Intelligence does not erase attachment. In fact, intelligent individuals often create deep emotional bonds because they value meaningful relationships. Years of memories create psychological weight. Shared experiences become part of personal identity. The relationship becomes woven into the story of who they are. Walking away doesn't just mean losing a person. It can feel like losing a piece of yourself. And that emotional cost is something intelligent people are often very aware of. Many intelligent people also possess high levels of compassion. Compassion is not the same as weakness. In fact, it often requires enormous emotional strength. But compassion can sometimes lead people to tolerate behavior they should not tolerate. They keep giving second chances, then third chances, then fourth chances. Because they understand suffering, because they recognize human imperfection, because they remember times when they themselves needed forgiveness. The irony is that their greatest strength becomes their greatest vulnerability. Their kindness keeps the door open long after it should have been closed. There is another psychological reason that is rarely discussed. Intelligent people are often more aware of their own flaws. The smarter someone becomes, the more likely they are to recognize how much they don't know. They understand their own mistakes, their own blind spots, their own imperfections. As a result, they may hesitate to judge others harshly. They think, I've made mistakes too. I've hurt people too. I've had bad moments too. Who am I to completely write someone off? This self-awareness can create humility, but sometimes it creates excessive tolerance. A healthy level of understanding becomes an unhealthy level of acceptance, and the boundary between those two can be difficult to recognize. Some intelligent people also fear regret. Before making a major decision, they naturally consider multiple possible outcomes. What if the relationship improves? What if they change? What if I'm misunderstanding the situation? What if ending things is the wrong choice? While others act quickly, intelligent people often keep analyzing and analyzing and analyzing. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis. The desire to make the perfect decision can delay necessary decisions. Ironically, intelligence can create hesitation where action is needed. But perhaps the most fascinating reason is that intelligent people often believe people are capable of growth because they themselves have changed throughout life. They know human beings are not fixed. They know people can evolve. They know bad habits can be replaced. They know trauma can be healed. So when they encounter a toxic person, they don't only see who that person is today, they see who that person might become tomorrow. This belief is beautiful, it is hopeful, and sometimes it is absolutely correct. People do change. But psychology teaches us an important distinction. Potential is not reality. Possible change is not actual change. A future version of someone cannot be the foundation of a present relationship. Many intelligent people learn this lesson later than others, not because they are naive, but because they genuinely believe in human growth. There is also a hidden emotional reward involved. Some intelligent people unconsciously enjoy being the stable person in chaotic relationships. They become the problem solver, the peacemaker, the advisor, the rescuer. Helping others gives them a sense of purpose. Over time, this role can become part of their identity, and without realizing it, they begin tolerating unhealthy dynamics because the relationship reinforces how they see themselves. The helper, the fixer, the strong one. Unfortunately, relationships built on rescuing others often become emotionally exhausting because eventually the helper starts drowning too. One of the biggest misconceptions about intelligence is that it automatically protects people from emotional pain. It doesn't. A brilliant mind is still a human mind. Intelligent people still want love. They still want acceptance. They still fear loneliness. They still hope people will become better. They still struggle with attachment. In some cases, intelligence simply gives people more sophisticated explanations for staying in situations that hurt them. And that can make toxic relationships last even longer. The healthiest intelligent people eventually learn a powerful psychological truth. Understanding someone does not require tolerating harmful behavior. You can understand someone's trauma without accepting mistreatment. You can recognize their pain without carrying it yourself. You can care about someone without sacrificing your peace. You can love someone and still create distance. This is where wisdom begins. Because intelligence helps you understand people, but wisdom helps you understand limits. Wisdom recognizes that compassion and boundaries can exist together, that empathy and self-respect are not enemies, that protecting your mental health is not cruelty, it is responsibility. The goal is not to become cold. The goal is not to stop caring. The goal is not to cut people off at the first sign of imperfection. The goal is balance, knowing when to stay, knowing when to help, knowing when to forgive, and knowing when to walk away. Some relationships simply need stronger boundaries. Some need honest conversations. Some need distance. And yes, some need endings. The most intelligent decision is not always keeping people in your life, and it is not always removing them either. The most intelligent decision is seeing reality clearly, not who someone was, not who they might become, but who they consistently show themselves to be. Because relationships are ultimately built on patterns, not promises, actions, not intentions, reality, not potential. If you enjoyed this deep dive into human psychology, behavior, and the hidden patterns that shape our lives, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever kept a toxic person in your life because you believed they would eventually change, or because you understood the reasons behind their behavior? Share your experience in the comments below.